All right, now let's have a little conversation about manipulative mothers, the epidemic of manipulative mothers. Now, I deal with this firsthand, so I can definitely speak on it. And this is dedicated to the men that deal with manipulative mothers who have kids with these women and they try to put your kids against you. They embed negativity into your kids' heads. They embed negative thoughts about you into your kids' heads, And all they're doing is trying to have a sense of control that they really don't have. They can't even control their own emotions. But they feel like that since you had a child with them, that they can control you through the child. And I've noticed talking to men, I talk to a lot of the guys about this, man. And we really have some real heart-to-heart conversations about the women that we chose to have kids with, which at the end of the day, it's all on us. We chose the bed that we made, so we got to lay in the bed that we made. And a lot of us understand that, and we accept that, and we move forward with that. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of us deal with these women that manipulate our children in order to get their way. Not only their way through the kids, but their way through us, to control us, in the situation, or lack thereof, because these women really have no control at all. They can't control their emotions. A lot of them can't control their vaginas because they give them out to everybody. And control is just not a part of their lives, but they have this illusion that they are in control by being manipulative. You know what I'm saying? And I talk to a lot of guys that deal with this stuff, man, and it seems like when you're done with the woman, they turn into who they really are. Like, this isn't a new creature. This was the person they always were, that was hiding in the shadows, that maybe you just ignored it. Maybe you ignored the signs. Maybe you ignored the red flags. Maybe you were under the spells of a witch, because that's real too. I can tell you about that personally. But whatever reason you were with this woman, or stayed with this woman, or laid with this woman, all of us have our own individual reasons for why we did what we did. And this is why we are in the situations that we're in. You know what I'm saying? But for the guys that have a lot of despair, that are living through this, I want to tell you that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, bro. Because one day, and I can't speak for everyone, because some people allow themselves to be manipulated all the way through adulthood and throughout their lives by their mothers, just because they have this bond with their mothers and they have this view of their mothers that's distorted. You know what I'm saying? But you have to remember that one day your kids are going to see the truth, man. They're going to see who their mothers truly are. They're going to see how much their mothers have been manipulating them, controlling them, all for their own selfish gain, And you really have to exercise patience, man. And I know it's hard, because dealing with these women it is not an easy task, bro. It's not an easy task for a bitter creature that, since they have been with you, they really know where to dig, where to stab you and dig the knife in and twist the knife. They really know how to do these things because they are masters at manipulation. So they really know how to push your buttons. They know what will trigger you, and just an assortment of things that can really get you out of character. You know what I'm saying? But I've learned you have to have patience, man. You have to have patience, and you have to just continue to be a good father, be an attentive father, be an active father, and be an influence in your kid's life, and you really have to trust that that's going to pan out for you, because especially with young children, they don't know any better, man. They don't know any better. They're being manipulated constantly when they're in the vicinity of their mothers, and they don't even know it, while they're creating this bond They're creating this bond to their mother's toxicity. You know what I'm saying? And they don't even know. So you can't blame your kids for what's going on, man, because especially like if you got toddlers and young kids, man, that really don't know anything about the world, you can't blame them for it, you know? So these are the times where you really have to be patient, man. You really have to be patient, and you really have to be proactive in fatherhood, you know, with your kids, because if you're proactive, I think that eventually, as time passes, your kids are going to realize and start to see these things. Once they start to grow in intellect and start to learn a little bit about the world, they're going to start to see these things within their mother to know who she truly is, because like I was saying before, they have this distorted view of who she is, and that's not who she really is. You know, a lot of these women are really monsters, man. You know, really monsters wrapped up in a nice package, you know. When you open that package up, it's waste, it's sewage, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of times the kids don't see that just because they have this natural bond to their mothers. I mean, this is the person that birthed you, you know what I'm saying? So that's understandable. But we as men, we have to understand that we do have the influence, we do have the ability, we do have the power to open our children's eyes. We do have the power to do that. So we can't get caught up in frustration. We can't get caught up in anger, bro. And we can't allow ourselves to be manipulated. We can't allow ourselves to be baited, because they're always trying to bait you. You know, I can say in my experience, they are always trying to bait you into acting out of character, and you can't give into that, you know. And they will do everything. They will go to the system that was designed to be against fathers. They'll go to the system. They will threaten to go to the system. They will lie. They will say you abused them. They will make up all sorts of things to diminish your character and pretty much just make you look like shit, bro. That's the honest truth, man. But you have to know that, like, in due time, things will change, man. And your life will speak for itself. Your character will speak for itself in how your life is going, you know? So if someone is saying things about you that's out of character, your life is going to show the opposite, man. So you can't get caught up in trying to prove this person wrong and trying to explain yourself to people about what this person is saying. Like, just continue to be a righteous dude, continue to be a good father, continue to be a good influence. We're not perfect as fathers, but we can continue. Each day we have life, each day we have fucking breath in our lungs, we can move forward and make this happen, man. But I just want you guys to know that there is light, man. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Continue being a good father. Don't worry about what they're saying. They're gonna be just dragging your name through the mud, man. And you have to just take it on the chin, move forward, let the results of your life speak for itself. Let your actions speak for themselves, you know, and continue to move forward, man. Continue to move forward strong. Continue to have control. You gotta have self-control. You can't be exchanging in arguments with them. None of that, man. Give them limited access to you. Communicate with them about the children and for the betterment of the children, and leave it at that, bro. Leave it at that. Don't get caught up in their manipulation tactics and everything that they have going on, trying to drag you down. You know, you can't let that happen. You can't let that happen, bro. So I just want to let you guys know, man, there's light at the end of the tunnel. You can be a good influence. I know a lot of us are great influences. There's a lot of these bitter women out here trying to tear us down. They're trying to drain our pockets, you know, drain our finances, and really just bring us down as men, as individuals. And we can't fall into that. You know, we can't fall into their traps. We can't fall into their strategy, because, you know, manipulators, they're keen strategists in being toxic and manipulative, man. So we got to battle them with patience. We got to battle them with righteousness. We got to battle them with just doing the right things by ourselves, doing the right things by our children, and the results will speak for themselves, man. The results will speak for themselves. That's all I can really say. But I just wanted to talk to you guys. I'm gonna do this part 1 because this is a topic, man, I could speak on this topic for eons, man. Because like I was saying, I talk to a lot of guys, and a lot of guys are dealing with this stuff, bro. They're dealing with this, and you know, it's really affecting dudes, man. Some guys can't take it as good as others, and it's really bringing a lot of guys down. You know what I'm saying? So if you're one of those guys that are allowing the woman that you chose to have a child with bring you down, you got to get out of that, bro. You got to let that go. You got to diminish that, all right? And you got to continue to just put your attention into your kids, pour into yourself, pour into your life, pour into your business, pour into your passions, man, and keep it moving, bro, all right? But much love to y'all, man. I'll be back with another one, man. Remember, don't get caught up in the manipulation tactics, man. And for all you bitter women out there, man, get yourselves together, man, because you're creating chaos and you're only doing harm. You're doing a lot more harm than good, and you need to get your shit together. Get your mind together. Get your emotions together, because you're creating turmoil. You're creating turmoil, you know, and none of us need that. Our kids definitely don't need it. They didn't ask to be brought here. You know, it was our choice to lay with each other and have these children. So we got to take responsibility for that, and that's just the way it is. There's accountability on both sides, you know. And for you women out there that have some sense, man, you are true treasures in this world. You are true treasures. The ones that don't try to hold your kids back from their fathers, the ones that encourage relationships with their fathers, and ones that aren't bitter, ones that have moved on with their lives and are working on excelling their lives. You women are the true treasures, and I wish it was a lot more of you in the society, you know. So much love to you women that are in that energy. You know what I'm saying? Much love to you, and keep doing what you're doing, man, because we need more women like you in this world. We need more women like you in this society, and we got to do everything that we can to make it right for these young ones, man. And that's just how it's supposed to be. But it's been King Shinobi, man. I got a little homie right here, and we about to sign out, man. But much love to y'all, man. And remember, men out there, man, don't fall into the traps, bro. Don't fall into the traps. I know it's hard sometimes not to react when somebody's poking you. When somebody just poke. I know it's hard not to just boom. You know what I'm saying? But we can't do that. You know, we got to be above that. We got to be well above that. You know, we got to be well above being reactionary, well above being emotional as men. You know, we can't be in that. We can't be in that nature, all right? So stand tall, stand firm, and keep moving forward, baby. You'll never lose. Peace out.